Hello and welcome to ESPN FC Live. Mark Donaldson, delighted to be alongside Stewart, Robson and Rob Dawson. Later on, we'll be joined by Alex Kirkland to preview the big games in La Liga this weekend. There's a big one in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich taking on Bayer Leverkusen. That's this afternoon. Today, we start, though, in the English Premier League. In Manchester United, Jadon Sancho, all sorts going on. Brighton at Old Trafford this weekend. Let's get stuck into this one. Robbo, first of all, it's got nothing to do with you, me, or Rob, the fact that the graphic, bright yellow, says Man United mess. But it's not great. What do you make of everything that's happened during the international break at Old Trafford, and where does it leave them ahead of this Brighton game?
It leaves them, I would say, in a bit of trouble. Obviously, they've got injury problems in the centre-half area. Anthony, is going to be out the Manchester United squad for a while other things are taken care of. And the Sancho incident, no Anthony, you'd want Sancho back in the team, but he's caused one or two problems. The manager and him don't get on at the moment. And instead of being in the squad, he's training with the reserves or the under-23s. So things aren't quite right at Manchester United, and it's a big game for them because, they've lost a couple. That game against Arsenal, where it could have gone either way. They lost against Arsenal. They need to get back on form and get some results. So massive game for them against Brighton.
Rob, Manchester's your beat. How could this have been handled better by both the club and Jadon Sancho?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a question that does need to be asked whether Ten Hag has handled this in the right way. Obviously, this has started with Ten Hag making his reasons for dropping Jadon Sancho for the Arsenal game public. After that game, he said that it was because he wasn't training properly. Sancho has then decided to respond to that on social media and say that those reasons were completely untrue and that kind of hinted that there was other factors at play. Once Jadon Sancho has then challenged the authority of Erik Ten Hag, I don't think that the club could have handled it in any other way. That Ten Hag has been very, very firm in his stance that discipline in the squad is everything for him at Man United, that he values that even above almost results, that he wants to be seen as the guy who's in charge. So once Sancho has decided to challenge him publicly, Ten Hag feels that he's got no choice then but to punish him, and that punishment at the moment is him being removed from the first team squad and training on his own. At the moment, there's a little bit of a standoff now, in that Ten Hag doesn't really want to address this until Jadon Sancho apologises privately to him and also in public, and Sancho at the moment is refusing to do that. So you've got a case where you've got the manager who's not backing down over his reasons for dropping Sancho. You've got Sancho who's also not backing down over his right to reply and his views on the entire situation, and it's a bit of a standoff, and that sidebar on the side of the screen is right, that situation is a bit of a mess. There is no time frame now for Jadon Sancho's return to the squad. At the moment, he's unavailable for the foreseeable future.
Robbo, you've been in many dressing rooms over the years, and with all the players together, player power can prove problematic for managers, but that's with all the players together. This is X versus Y. This is one player versus the manager. That usually ends with the manager winning, doesn't it?
In the 1v1 situations, unless the player is a very important player. Ten Hag got his way with Ronaldo, and that, I think, set Manchester United off in a good way. It said to everybody that Ten Hag was in control. Ronaldo wasn't going to dictate to everybody else what should happen, as he's done at previous clubs. But Sancho, every player has to be dealt with in a different way. And I was lucky enough with Dan Thomas to talk to Edin Terzic at the beginning of the season in Las Vegas. And we asked him about Sancho and said, are you surprised that he hasn't really done as well as he should have done at Manchester United? And straight away he said, no, I'm not surprised. When we had him at Borussia Dortmund, he had to be a player that had to have an arm around him. We had to take care of him. We had to develop him. We had to make sure he had the right mental state from week to week. And we knew when he went to Manchester United, he wasn't going to get that at such a big club. There's so many other people that are going to have to be treated in different ways. And he realised that Sancho wasn't going to get that sort of arm around his shoulder that he got at Borussia Dortmund. So it was suggesting that Sancho maybe off the field and his discipline, maybe his philosophy about the way he wants things to go at a football club weren't quite right. But Borussia Dortmund got the best out of him. Manchester United and Ten Hag at the moment can't do that. So that's a problem for the manager.